now. For eons, the mortals that survived the shattering remained trapped on the broken pieces of Gaba. The isles were but specks of dirt and rock and water, and the void kept them isolated. This remained the way of things until the first age of recorded history.
You make it sound like that's a bad thing.
No, it was just the way things were. But as the new age dawned, brave souls took their first steps away from their home to begin exploring the void.
Yeah, and our ancestors claimed isles, left and right, built up civilizations just by planting their flags in the ground and showing it off to the locals. Briskel was one of the first big names to stick around. They're still here today, except they call themselves the Republic of Porthian. Too bad they aren't as inclusive as they used to be.
And it was in this time that the Druids of the Green made their own claims over the Isles. The Isle of Green, in truth, is never, and was never, one isle. They were populated with the last protectors of Gaba, and with a fractured world, they deemed it their solemn duty to care for its leftover pieces. Their influence during the First Age expanded rapidly. However, the Green would never be as large as it was since the First Age.
Meh. It's for the best, I think. Too many tree huggers are bad for business, I say. Those gnomes had it right. They had everything going for them. Magic, technology, initiative. Imagine if they had won the First Great War. We might have puzzled the Shattered Isles back together already.
True, perhaps, but I doubt we would be here to enjoy it. The Gnomish Empire was the terror of the First Age. They very nearly conquered all of the fledgling Briskel territories. If the Green had not stopped their advancement, our ancestors would have been enslaved or put to the sword.
Yeah. So instead our ancestors killed every last gnome they could, destroyed their dreadnoughts, and seized control of the old empire. We're such good people, heroes of the First Age.
We can leave it up to philosophers to debate the morality of ages past. What is important to remember is that the absence of the gnomes was filled with the free territories that would eventually ally themselves under the White Sword Confederacy. And the territory of Gemet overthrew their oppressors to create the magocracy that is now Marseille.
Ah, yeah. Beautiful place with beautiful people. I'd like to retire there, I think. Find out what all those handsome men are hiding under their robes. A girl can dream, can't she?
A lot of you have been eating a very early breakfast, and Cookie and Gaz were in a mood to share a little bit more lore that you may not have heard. Kodrog, you may have heard these things or read about them in your massive history texts and volumes chiseled in stone.
Yeah, I mean, bits and pieces, but, I really think that there's no way to put these isles back together.
There's probably enough sticky glue out there we could do it.
There'd be a lot of dead horses.
No, you can make it out of trees.
Kodrog kind of spoons his morning porridge out and says, maybe this gruel is sticky enough to hold it all together. Not that it tastes bad. It's delicious, Cookie.
Yeah. You want raisins?
Nice save.
Strong enough to lock up my insides.
No.
You need to drink more rum. It helps move stuff around.
Does it really, though? I feel like it just makes you warm. Like, I think that's... Okay, alright. Moving on. I don't really think the Druids are that bad. They're great. They're pretty chill. Once you get to know them, that is.
I'm not going to complain. I got some old bread here. Does anybody want it? We need to eat it before the rats get to it.
I'll take the heel.
She throws it at you.
As you catch that loaf of bread, or peel of bread, Arthur steps down into the mess hall. That's you.
Aye! It's time for roll call! Get up on the brig! Get up! Walks over and starts pushing your food out from underneath you. Get up! Get up!
Thomas probably wasn't even eating it. He's probably just reading, and he moved his book, and he's already standing.
I smear what's left of my porridge on top of my stale bread and stuff it into a pouch.
I watch you do like Thomas watches you do this and just goes, "Yeah, okay," and just heads upstairs.
Well, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's not. You're right. It sticks. It sticks together real well.
You're probably even able to merge two pieces of bread together around it so it stays.
Yeah.
One of the other deckhands, Larry, continues to dawdle. The large Keshan walks over and grabs him by the nape of the neck like a young cat and drags him away from the bench. Sitting at, yelling about, roll call! Roll call!
So as you all are gathering your things and making your way to the top deck, I shall read a short excerpt.
Go for it.
The Amber Falls has been in port for the last 3 months. She's received a nice overhaul, and the new sails are arriving in the morning. This morning. The last 3 months have been met with delays, problems, and setbacks. The timber for the new mast arrived warped. A warehouse fire at the docks caused a shortage of pitch and rope, and an infestation of wharf rats kept trade ships out of port for several weeks. Larger vessels are still getting rid of the last nests on board. The crew has put their backs into the repairs and dedicated themselves to getting the Amber Falls ready to sail. It is a day of celebration, not just for the crew's accomplishments, but also it is their patron's birthday. It is the 32nd birthday of Princess Amber Adan, the eldest daughter of the King of Kadaf. For these reasons, the captain has allowed the crew shore leave for the night, except for those involved in the brawl with the crew of the Floating Bear, which caused injuries and legal repercussions.
Come on. We were defending the honor of Amber. Princess
Hey,
Amber.
I didn't do anything, alright? That rope, it's crazy. It just happened.
So we pan back in the camera as we join the crew in the early morning for roll call and duty assignments. The Amber Falls is berthed along the south side of the T dock at the mouth of the Burke Channel. Captain Jason Harris stands on the forecastle looking at the first few golden rays of light. His hands are clasped behind his back. Arthur, the quartermaster, clears his throat to gain the captain's attention. As he turns to face you, the sun rises over his shoulder. Standing on the forecastle, he looks like a shadowy giant above the crew on the main deck. Good morning, lot. Quartermaster, are all in attendance?
Aye, Captain. All of it for roll call, set for the lookout. I suspect he's at his post as he does.
He's a good lad, and already knows his task. Several nods.
We're all like, yeah, we agree.
Yeah, Kodrug thinks about whispering to his neighbor, but not in front of the captain.
Today, the sails arrive as soon as the T-Dock opens up the warehouse. I need 4 of you to make way to the Dockmaster holding house to get everything. Larry, Kodrug, Thomas, and Inu, you will go. Those of you on first watch get all the rigging loosened for the arrival of the sails. Those on second watch get to your domestics. Those of third watch will be helping Gaz move the new yards in place throughout the day. Once the morning shift is over, I want each of you on the morning shift to go back out and get a black cat. Or just any cat. We need to get rid of the wharf rats living on this ship. The best way to do that is to bring in something that will eat them. Once all are on board, and everyone's done for the day, and the afternoon, and all of the domestics are tended to, you're allowed to leave, you're allowed shore leave for the rest of the night, until sunrise. I expect you back on the boat. Anyone cutting out early will find themselves swabbed for the next run out. Tonight is the princess's birthday, and the Amber Falls must be ready to set sail in the morning on Her Highness's orders. I want no issues today, or it could easily be another month or two of no time off boat, staring at several people in particular.
So is the Cashin.
You're dismissed.
Alright, you heard him. Let's get to work. Get yourselves busy. Kodrog, Inu, Thomas, Fern, get your arses over here.
Thomas, I would imagine, was like, yeah, and then, like, pivots to leave, and then you say, like, he says that, and he's like, and just turns.
Yeah, Kodrog's trying to make a good impression, you know, for the last 3 months after the bar fight, so he's very, you know, like, soldiery.
You guys have been in trouble for a long time.
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Inu walks forward, and he'll immediately pull himself up onto the railing of the ship and lay out, just staring up at the sky, because he's a hard worker, but he's also lazy. Mm. But close enough to hear Arthur give a good talking to. And Fern
joins the group, hanging back, kind of rolling her eyes, her head sideways, just like, yeah, I know, get it over with, look on her face, and, you know, she's, like, signing, a little bit, like, oh, gosh, you know, as they get reamed out, and I'm sure, like, every time that Arthur looks her way, she does, like, the, oh my gosh, thank you so much, woo, for donating, you're awesome, so I got excited, that's the first time, oh my god, okay, continue.
You four are on to be on ship duty while the rest of the crew is on shore. Can't have another bout like last time, and the captain won't be coming to your rescue again. So you get to stay the night with me. I'm watching you four. Alright. All you've got your jobs and tasks. Thomas, Godrug, Inu, get Larry, get them sails.
Aye, sir. Well, won't be a snag. Go smoothly.
No snags.
No snags.
Especially on the sails. No snags on the sails.
No snags on the sails. That would be bad. So, there you are. Go
it's
ahead.
My turn now.
Oh, it's your turn. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Your turn. My turn. So, you find Larry has gone below decks back to the mess hall and is currently scraping out the last bits of the sticky porridge, stuffing his face again.
And not from his bowl.
Nope.
From other people's bowls.
The ones that were left.
Yep.
Larry's supposed to be helping us, right?
He is. He is indeed. He was actually told he was there when it happened, so he should know this.
Yeah. Thomas will clear his throat a bit, try to get his attention. If that doesn't happen, he'll just go, Larry, hey, buddy. Breakfast happened like 30 minutes ago.
Breakfast is over, Larry. It's time to go. And Kodrog will kind of like push past Thomas.
Oh, right, sorry. Alright,
imagine Coach, just your dwarf going, like, I just imagine you going underneath his cloak, and he's like, whoa, geez.
Yeah. So, as far as dwarves go, I am super short. So,
are you as
dwarfiest dwarves?
Are you as short as a failing, almost?
If you are about the same size as a failing, that's completely understandable. Their dwarves range in size, but in the Shattered Isles, they refer to your stature as anything but gnomish, because gnomish is referred to as for that short height. So failings are that gnomish size.
Yeah.
So are you gnomish size?
4'5", so I don't know.
Nah.
No, you're too tall for gnomish.
Okay, well, there we go. But still, short for a dwarf. Kind of like pushes past the bottom half of your robes.
Just imagine Thomas was like, okay, all right, jeez.
Larry will move to the other side of the table as you approach.
No, you're supposed to be his voice.
He's not saying anything. He's just doing.
Okay.
Because now he's moved to the other side of the table, picked up another bowl, and he's scooping.
It cannot be
that. My voice.
Larry, we have to get the sails. We have to go. And I'm coming back around the table at him.
I'll go on the other side, trying to stop him.
he will casually pop up onto one of the benches into the middle of the table. There's 3 of you. You can handle this. As he grabs a low-hanging beam and kind of hoists himself up wraps her leg around while still pulling the porridge out of the bowl. And
God, you're like a monkey.
I'm
sorry, that's just very impressive. I can't argue with that.
Larry's a rather skinny individual.
Okay, Larry, just scoop the porridge into your pocket and let's go. It's not gonna stain. It's just gonna solidify there. You can take bites out of it like a biscuit. I know from experience.
All right, he starts sliding out of the rafters. You have a charisma bonus, don't you?
No.
Maybe somebody...
Thomas will step in, and I guess kind of say the same thing. I feel like
experience.
I feel like he would just say how horrible that is. There's better things on shore that you can eat, right? Instead of eating this gruel.
Fair enough. All right, he'll slide out of the rafters with that. I mean, that's sensible.
Yeah.
So, after convincing Larry to do some work, good job.
Thank you.
Doesn't happen very often. He follows you in a very lanky, lazy walk as you all make your way through the early morning docks, mostly dock workers, people unloading cargo to be taken to either other warehouses or into marketplaces. And so it's quite busy in the morning. It takes maybe about 20 minutes for you to get from the Amber Falls over to the Dockmaster house, where everything is brought into and organized before being, sent out, divided out?
Yeah.
To the ships. Yeah, parcels that get picked up.
Okay. I'm keeping a close eye on Larry the whole way, because...
he would probably take advantage of this if he could find anything.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll? Because I can.
Yeah, you should roll for Larry for right now.
Since you're watching him, I'm assuming that your perception is high enough to notice him. He's going to try, but he's going to do it anyways. While passing by a fish vendor's of salted fish, he scores a 4 on his sleight of hands roll.
Wow!
Enough that even the vendor's like,
You gotta pay for that.
Yeah. Larry, don't make us tie you up with a line and drag you.
I can do that. It's easy.
Okay, Larry tosses the fish back, goes...
Larry, you are one savory individual.
What does that mean?
You're one hell of a guy.
He gives you a queer look from his face, like...
Okay, you all continue making your way to the, sorry, I apologize, I need to scoot this up a little bit.
Do it.
Is
there
this
in the holding house?
Is this out of character for Larry?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been on the ship?
Oh, apparently 3 months.
Okay, so yeah, you would realize this is not... actually, you know what? It is out of character because he's actually off the ship doing something that he was told to do. So yes, it is out of character.
Good catch. Good call. She's right. This is alien. He, if you were to look at the poster, employee of the month thing, it always changes, but swab of the month doesn't change.
It's always Larry.
Pretty much.
He's working up to be swab of the year.
I think Thomas will, give him pointers, walk straight, stand up, be more civilized type of thing.
Alright, just want to check one thing. What was his wisdom like?
It's okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad. We're not going to write home about it.
Yeah.
Is it like a 3?
You're good. You can leave it there. Okay. So as you are instructing him in the ways to walk like a proper person and to not stand out in the crowd, he's mildly successfmoll. I think he's really only doing it because as you guys are leaving, the fishmonger flagged down one of the city watch, and so he worked really hard on blending in so you guys didn't get followed.
Even stooping down.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Don't cause any trouble for us, Larry.
Yeah, we're already in enough trouble.
Yeah. This is our one shore excursion.
He raises his hands. I'm not in trouble.
No. We are pointing at Thomas and Enu's with us too.
Enu.
Yeah. Enu.
Eno hasn't said anything. He's just walking toward the hold. He just wants to get the fucking sails. Excuse my language.
Yeah. So you finally arrive. It's not open yet. There are 2 groups in front of you. Looks like, from, ships that are berthed somewhere else on the T dock. And, it's supposed to be, opening up here shortly. Is there anything you want to do while you wait?
Question. Does either of your characters have a clock?
Oh, yeah.
A watch?
I would imagine Thomas would,
Thomas probably would because he's, from money.
Do you have you got mathematics and navigation as skills, right?
I believe I do.
You need a watch to be able to do both navigation and mathematics. So yeah, if you're aiming what you're doing, then you need a watch.
I have neither.
Ah.
I don't have mathematics or navigation.
Okay.
Oh well.
Apparently.
That's okay. A bosun's mate doesn't really need those things, so that's good.
No. I'm just good at organizing things, color coding, alphabetical.
Right.
Okay. So, excellent. So as you all wait, the bell for 6 a.m. chimes.
Bong. Bong. Bong.
And as it's bonging, the doors to the holding house open up. And with the holding house, you're not actually allowed to go in there because it's very... there's guards on the inside that make sure that, scallywags and people who other shipwrights don't go in and just, steal stuff that belongs to somebody else that they've ordered. So, one by one, the first group is up and is giving them the slip, the receipt for picking up whatever parcels that they have for their ship. And as they're getting everything out...
Are either of these 2 groups in front of us, are they from the Floating Bear? Or
they
the Bloated
aren't.
Bear, or whichever one it is?
They aren't. You look and make sure that they are not from the Floating Bear. They are from other ships. And audience, if you would like to name some of these ships and maybe give us some NPC names, you can throw them in the chat and we will use them as we need them.
Yeah, you guys are good. Do it.
However, you relax.
Yep.
Because there's not going to be any problems. And as you relax, you decide to look around and just, wait your turn, and then you see a familiar Takeout.
Oh, no.
taller above the rest. And following him, a human.
Oh.
And following that, a Keshin that you recognize.
Not our Keshin, though.
No, the one
other
that
Keshin.
somebody busted a bottle over.
I wonder who did that. The takeout was tied to a ceiling.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure I stabbed somebody with a dart, so.
That's right.
One of them. I can't remember which one.
Speaking of our, where's my Keshin? I imagine he's with like a lady. Like he snuck off the ship and he's with a lady.
That's what you're hoping.
That's what you're hoping.
That's what Thomas thinks, but I don't know where Bassianus is.
Ah, yes.
How well do you know your friend?
Pretty well. I mean,
yeah, they've been friends for years.
and
I feel like
since he's not an actual part of the crew, you're basically supporting him to be there. He's not required to do any of the work, and therefore he wasn't required to be in trouble with the rest of you.
yeah. He may have threatened multiple people and nearly punched a guy, but I mean, not part of the crew.
So when I see these familiar faces, I'll elbow Emu and say, "Ship shape, we've got company."
What are you talking about? He looks over quickly as he's fumbling with the piece of paper, making sure everything on the list is correct. What?
We've got some bloated bears coming.
Ah, damn it.
Look, guys, just easy, all right?
Eno
We're already
reaches
in
into his
trouble.
pocket, pulls out a knife. You got your knife with you?
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, no, but let's not stab anybody yet. I just want you to not be surprised when they start throwing insults at us.
Eno will pull out his knife and pretend to be cleaning his fingernails.
Is no one listening to me right now? I imagine Thomas is behind him and he's like, we can put that away.
As you check the crew, Kodrog is conversing with Enu. Enu is sharpening his knife. Larry has a finger up his nose.
I'm not worried about Larry. You, though.
So they approach closer, and then they recognize you. They stop for a moment, and you see them whispering and turning amongst themselves.
Thomas is like,
right there.
I'm not here. I'm not here.
You know what I'm thinking?
And go ahead and do some perceptions, John, since you're the one that's really paying attention while Thomas is trying to convince you all not to start trouble.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
From the Dockmaster. Next.
23.
And the crew of the
Nice.
Cosmic Cow leaves with their parcels, and
That's an amazing name.
That is.
and the crew of the Lady Esmeralda approaches to
Classy.
receive to give them their receipt.
And they have two carts with
do.
them.
This might be a while.
Being pulled by people.
Great.
Yeah. So you guys have a lot of time as they come up, and they get in line in front of you.
Hey,
Whoa.
Just-
Whoa now.
They just walk
They
right
walk
past.
right past you and just step right in front of you.
Between you and the crew of the...
Lady Esmeralda.
So, I got a 23 on my perception. Did I notice anything other than them cutting us off?
Yes, you noticed that one of them passed what looks like maybe an ice pick or a letter opener over.
oh god.
Okay.
We're dead. We're dead. Rerolling characters. We're dead.
So, Kodrog, with his...
Perhaps they're just preparing in case you guys start trouble.
Perhaps they are. So Kodrog will step to the front of our group, and in his most courteous voice, say, "Good
Hang on.
sirs."
Good sir.
Okay, I'm just checking Larry's perception. He too noticed you guys just got cut off.
Yeah. Good sirs,
job, Larry.
I'm sure you are aware of how a queue operates. You have to join at the end.
The Takeo will turn, look at you. Silence, gnome.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Hey, that's really uncalled for.
Gnome is pretty derogatory. You see like a couple of the crew of the
Cassion's
Lady
laughing.
Esmeralda turn and kind of look like, who's calling who a gnome? Oh my gosh! Now
Yeah,
fights
they're
are
really- They're really racist.
And Kodrug, through clenched teeth now, says, Now, no need for nastiness.
Deep breaths, my friend, deep breaths.
Larry steps forward at this time. I got stuff I need to do. You guys can't cut us off in line. And he steps forward and gives a hefty push into the Keshan's shoulder.
Oh no!
All right, Thomas is stepping in. He's stepping in the between them, and then he looks at the Keshan and realizes how buff he is, and just goes, "Okay." So I'll take a deep breath here.
The
I believe
Keshan's
we
fur
both.
is standing up a bit.
Yeah, getting a
I-
little
I-
wrinkled.
I believe we both need to apologize. I think we'll go first. I'm sorry for lifting you up with a rope. I'm not going to apologize for my friend here because he's man enough to do it by himself. But I think we just need to relax a bit.
Do you have
We have-
diplomacy?
I bet I do. We have one thing that we need to grab, couple of things, and then we'll be out of your way. It'll be really easy. All right, I'm gonna roll this.
Do it!
So while Thomas is doing,
Because you also jumped in, I'm not cutting you off. I just want to let you know, you can do an aid roll to this diplomacy because you started the whole conversation.
Yes.
no, I'm doing something totally different.
Okay.
Oh,
got it.
good.
So while Thomas is doing his clever, let's just calm down speech, I'm going to slowly reach my hand back to where I keep my dagger.
Oh my god.
So is that like stealth or sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say stealth, but I think sleight of hand because you're actually going to be grabbing it.
Sleight of hand is being in the view of someone while doing something and not being noticed.
Did you fail miserably?
No, well, I hope not. I got a 10 total.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So
I got a 20.
Okay.
and it's kind of like behind to my side. So maybe I'm just putting my hand on my hip.
Okay. So the one that is in discussion with the Keshan, with Thomas right now, is not necessarily paying attention to you. However,
It's definitely a shifty eye. I'm looking
the
at Larry.
Takeow, who you mocked earlier, is noticing that you are reaching for something behind your back and also starts to be reaching for something that's in his front pocket.
Okay.
Did my diplomacy do nothing?
What was your diplomacy roll?
Inu, by the way,
20.
made a perception.
20? Okay.
Oh, Inu made a perception as well. Notices the people start reaching for stuff. Inu's reaching into his jacket as well. And Larry, as you're making your statement, Larry trying to push past you, is trying to reach for the Keshan like this is some sort of basketball game.
The Keshan, almost ignoring Larry, with the exception of putting a hand on his head and pushing him backwards as he's staring daggers at Thomas while he's talking.
This can just be really solved peacefully, alright? We don't need any more bloodshed as is. The little bloodshed that was actually had, but this could be solved better than this right now. And he kind of glares at his teammates a bit, like, put your fucking weapons away. Like,
That's the other part of the diplomacy.
They're not wrong yet. We're just aiding you.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I've just got my hand shoved really far down onto the...
I've just got an itch back here in the small of my back.
So as you passionately express to the Keshan, is like, look, we really don't want to do this, and it's like, it's so, I'm sorry, we shouldn't have done it, sorry about the rope thing, it's like, put your fucking weapons away, it's really okay, we don't want to cause trouble.
we really don't.
The Keshan looks to the Takeow and is like, these kittens ain't worth it. And then he shoves Larry.
laughing.
Keshin has a strength score of 18. So he's not on here?
Yeah, he's not on here, but
he has an 18.
And then he probably has unarmed combat too. So he shoves Larry hard enough that he throws Larry back, knocks it like first on his ass, and then the momentum carries him back, so he slams his head into the dirt.
Oh, Larry.
Sounds fine to me. But the take yell's like, sounds fine to me. But next time.
Great. So if you'll excuse us, and Thomas will actually help up Larry, and he'll actually move past them in front of him.
So they actually have decided that they are going to leave and come back later.
Yeah. That's
the best course of action. Yes, the 20 was a really great roll, so yeah, that you have convinced them to, if you're still there in a half an hour, then maybe a fight's gonna happen.
Great.
Yep. And it's pushing a good long time. It's 20 minutes. They're finally getting the carts are almost loaded.
And then you hear the voice of the small, squeaky failing. Oh, look, I found another receipt. We need this stuff, too.
Larry...
Oh my God, just hurry it up.
Larry is definitely very annoyed.
I can't believe you let him walk away. We could have taken him. It was just a Keshin, a Take-Yao, and a human, and the city guard right over there. We had this. We had this. we had this.
Yeah. You notice that the city guard has been picked up a little bit in this area. Maybe not necessarily for you, but maybe there's something. There's always a lot of guard around the holding house, so maybe that's just maybe it has nothing to do with you. Maybe you hope it has nothing to do with you.
It totally does.
You really can't have another incident.
Yeah, we're not infamous here yet, so
Yet. Thomas, I would like to see if I could assist them, the people in front of us, with my boat swine skills.
Okay.
Organizing. Maybe I can get their shit done faster.
Yeah, so you offer your services. Is there a role?
No, there's no role. It's just
whatever. So you offer your services to assist them because you notice one of their carts is slightly offset, like the axle. One side of the axle is lower than the other, and you know that if they don't balance it properly, it's gonna tip over and all of their stuff. So you go and you say, "I think this should go here, and you should probably wrap these these parcels up in this stuff, and you should definitely put the barrel in the back."
Yeah. It's a whole balance thing, guys. Come on. I'm glad you mentioned there's a broken axle, because I was just gonna go in and be like, oh God, that color doesn't go there. No, okay, stop. You're organizing all wrong.
Inu, seeing this as an opportunity to get things moving, realizes that work needs to be done. He too will help shift heavy things around.
While Larry
he will tell Larry, sit over there. Don't do anything. He's like, I'm fine with that.
So Larry goes, but he doesn't sit where instructed. He goes to the shady part of the building and sits in that instead. And it looks like he's just staring blankly.
So it's like this dark corner, and you just see this guy
yeah,
the entire time.
Yeah.
Yep, he wandered over there and his .exe file shut down.
I was thinking about helping since everyone else was jumping on, but I'm a little concerned about Larry. Not necessarily for his health, but I just don't want him to wander off and get himself into trouble.
I mean, he's just staring off into space right now.
So
but
I'm gonna keep an eye on Larry.
Okay.
All right. Larry's gonna make his stealth roll to sneak away. Oh yeah, a 6.
Nice.
Oh, hold on. I think he might have beat me. Just kidding. 18.
Alright, so as you're watching him, what? Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me. Why do you keep looking at me? And he's not, and it's just lipping it at first, but then he starts to yell it at you across the way.
Oh, Jesus.
I know you're going to sneak off as soon as I stop Larry.
Just sitting here.
I'm just looking in your direction.
Just sitting here. So this is going to go on for a while. So anyways.
So as you assist them in masterfully organizing their carts, and you're done within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Yay! So as soon as they move away, the Amber Falls. Come here. Yes. So you and you realize that you didn't give them a note as far as who you are. This guy is by the way, ancient. He's got more craters than Mars. He's an old dude, whatever. But he knows every single face. He knows exactly which face goes with which boat.
Good man.
Brings you forward. He's like, "What can I do you for today?" And he gets holds out his hand.
Yeah, I would imagine one of us has the receipt. Thomas is looking through all his
Thomas
robes.
is responsible.
Eno hands Thomas the receipts.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, thanks." I imagine Thomas is looking through his books, he used it as a bookmark at one point, and he's like, "No, that's not it." He'll hand it over.
You were reading while you were walking over.
Yeah.
He puts on his spectacles and looks at the paper, and then he looks up at you guys. Looks at the paper, looks over the counter, back to the paper. You didn't bring a cart?
We're strong, strapping sailormen.
I was gonna say, where are you going with this?
Okay. So, he calls back, he's like, "Sails, the Amber Falls, bring them up front." And the other, you hear something like, "What are they gonna talk about?" And it's like, "Nothing, they're gonna carry it." There's a pause.
And a laugh.
So, about 5 minutes of waiting at the counter, the side door opens, and out of it comes a rolling trolley almost, that is carrying a lot of
Crates.
No, this be
They'd be in crates, wouldn't they?
No, they're wrapped up all nice.
Oh, right,
The
that's
sails, man.
On the long pieces.
Yeah,
Yep.
they gotta be folded properly and everything. So yeah, you come out and there are just... It looks heavy. There's a lot of fabric. A lot of very meticulously crafted and pressed and folded fabric. Sails. You got all new sails. Every single sail on that ship is being replaced.
Yeah. Larry, why didn't you tell us we would need a cart?
What?
Gosh, Larry, you're really letting the group down on this one.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, which is why we don't have a cart.
Tell you what,
What?
you can rent that trolley for 5 clips.
Do I even have that much on me?
Yeah.
And if you remember, clips are basically the very small denominations of copper. So there's clips, bits,
Coins.
and then coins. So
Okay.
So Larry's like, looks over to Thomas, gets squinty-eyed, pushes on you. You're a
What?
finger wiggler. Wiggle fingers.
Excuse me?
well, I don't know. Has Larry noticed? Because Thomas doesn't.
Everybody, I'm pretty sure the pointy hat, the robe, the captain
He
talking about it. I don't know, just
Well, what?
maybe?
Well, no, the captain wouldn't have talked about
Nope.
it.
I will
The
say.
hat isn't currently on.
Oh.
He never has it on until he means business, because if he has it on, he knows that he's going to be called master at one point.
All right, I'm going to say Larry's stupid. He might not have caught wind of your what happened at the bar. But I'm going to roll. And
Yeah,
if I
go
get
for
a
it.
17 or above on my famously happy D20, then I'm going to say he remembers it. 18!
Whoa, nice.
Oh man, he saw you do some sort of heard you do some sort of magic.
You lifted a man with rope.
I heard it.
You lifted him. That's what he said. I heard you lift a man with rope.
Yeah?
Yeah, do it again.
Well, now hold on. We're not gonna go dangling these nice people around for doing their jobs.
Yeah.
I'll start fumbling around in my pocket, and I'll pull out 2 clips. That's all I have.
Thomas will give the rest. He'll pull out 3.
Okay. Larry ain't giving up anything.
And one of his boys is gonna go with you, so that way he can take the trolley back when you're done with it. So you will have.
Is he cute?
Is he cute?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Roll that dice.
Roll that dice.
Percentage-based appearance. 62.
Ooh, he is better looking than average. He may have taken a bath this week.
Oh, nice.
He's wearing his nice clothes.
And it looks like maybe he shaved about 3 or 4 days ago. So it's in the not shitty scraggly thing quite yet. Yeah.
I imagine, like, Thomas looks at his face and just touches his own stubble, and he's like, no, keep it. Looks good. Looks good. Like, talking to himself.
So they will assist you with taking this back to the ship. The first watch have already loosened the rigging, and they will be taking over changing the sails, so you don't have to work with that necessarily, which is good. Especially since, Thomas, you don't really know how to do that yet. You haven't really been taught.
No.
So, instead, Arthur will get Larry to begin swabbing the decks. Ooh, thank you for following us, Real Robot Ranger. You're awesome.
Real Robot Ranger.
There we go.
Cool name.
That was a cool name. I couldn't figure it out, though. So, what are we doing? We are doing stuff.
We're headed back to the ship.
You're headed back to. You are back to the ship, and it's being unloaded. And now you have your next task,
Which was
Arthur
remind us.
is going to be assigning.
What? What? Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
guys! Just
The thing with the cat.
Right.
Oh yeah, the thing with the cat.
I imagine, like, what part of town are they walking through right now to get
The
back to the
docks.
ship?
The docks.
Yep, it's all through the docks. So, So you're going back through the docks. You haven't left the docks part of the city, in months now. It's so smelly and dirty down here.
Great. I would imagine Thomas,
lovely.
since he's not very strong, I don't think. Manual labor isn't his forte. I would imagine he'll just kind of wave at his comrades and be like, I'm gonna go get the cat. Somehow. And then he'll just kind of like...
Larry's
wander off.
get this, like, big look. How can... no, I'm gonna go get a cat.
Larry, I don't trust you
Whoa.
with any tiny living creature. I'm gonna be honest. I fear for that kitten's life.
What if we make it into a competition? First one with a cat wins what?
First
I don't
one.
know. I just gave him my last 2 clips, so I can't bet money, but we can bet chores.
Yeah, you can. You bet chores. People end up... Larry's just like, really? Yeah. How about a month?
No, I really
All
don't
the
want
domestics for a month.
I really don't want anybody to touch my organization. I have that in a very particular order.
You're just scared that you'll end up having to swap the decks for a month. Because I can find cats. I'm good at that.
Sure you are.
Come on, Thomas. We can beat Larry at cat catching.
Eno's just like, let's get this stuff back to the ship. Because you guys are walking through the docks at this point in time. He's like, let's get it back to the ship. And then we'll worry about finding cats.
Come.
And Larry's like,
Sales.
no. I can go ahead and go. It'll save a whole bunch of time.
No.
No, cat catching after the delivery.
You can't. If we're gonna make this a deal, and if we're gonna team up, you're not gonna get a head start.
Eno's like, wait, I'm not teaming up with him.
If you're so good at catching cats, I would imagine that you don't need a teammate. But
Larry's kind of like, oh yeah, I am. Well,
So,
then if I will do one of your chores for a month. But he will do
he will do their domestics for a month. in addition to all of his other responsibilities.
But then they have to do, you have to do my domestics for 2 months.
Yeah, so just so we're all clear, what exactly counts as domestics?
Those are your chores.
Yeah.
Like swabbing the deck, prepping the food, cleaning the dishes, checking the lines, whatever task that you have that's not part of like more important goals.
Yeah, like not our actual job.
Right.
Like,
These are
he would be doing my rigging duties.
your domestics might involve moving things because the bosun says so, or because the bosun mate says so. Or it might be to come in and polish the captain's boots. Those are your domestics.
Could be anything that doesn't actually relate to your job on the ship. It's the extra stuff that just needs to get done.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's a win-win. Thomas, your organization won't get messed up because, you know,
Yeah.
you won't get touched. All right, so
Find that cat.
If Eno says, then it's fine. I'm not involved. And if this is for real, he tells the guy who's pulling the cart, put it down for a second. You all need to spit and shake.
Oh God.
What's wrong with
That's how you make sure that it's a real deal. The other gentleman says.
I've been hawking as soon as the word spit in a hand was said.
Larry is working one up.
Thomas?
Larry's hand is excessively snotty. But whatever, that's the way it happens.
Alright, okay. And Thomas just, like, spits in his hand and just goes like this. Like, it doesn't even look.
If you've never did this kind of handshake, I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's something you should try. No, don't try it.
That's right.
I have, as a kid. I have in middle school. It's very unpleasant. Very, like, splotchy. And the thing is, we did, like, the cliche, like, slapping handshake.
Ooh,
and it was gross.
Splashing everywhere. So I will remind you, Thomas, just in case, you do have a way to just clean your hand off very easily afterwards with your prestidigitation.
I do.
You can clean all our hands off easily.
I do.
Except for Larry. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm
No,
not
be
gonna
nice
clean
to him.
Larry.
He needs a friend. That's all he
There's
needs
no-
is a
I
friend.
feel like he'll do that behind his back. Because he can just wave his hand behind his back, or I don't know how.
Sleight of hand allows you to make a dice roll so it's not seen. You don't actually have to roll. You can say, I'm doing a sleight of hand to cast the spell. If somebody's actually looking at you, then we'll worry about the dice roll.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're successful.
I'll do a sleight of hand to cast a spell. I'll, like, put it, as I'm, like, done, I'll pretend like I'm wiping it off my cloak, and I'll just, like, gracefully wave my hand.
Larry will wipe it down the side of a building.
Excellent. Well, then...
Can we have someone, like, sweeping outside their house, and it's just like, what the fuck? Oh, God.
They try to get him back with the chamber pot. You put your filth on my house, I'll put my filth on you.
So you all succeed in getting back to the ship, and once that's been taken care of, Inu volunteers his services on assisting with getting the new sails put into the rigging, and leaves you three to go find a cat.
Arthur also will meet them at the edge as they're coming up. Oh. Took you long enough.
Look, we had a bit of bother at the place.
His eyes raise and he snorts and his nostrils flare. What?
No, it was nothing. It was nothing. It was a long line. We queued up.
The Lady Esmeralda was taking forever.
Yeah, the Lady Esmeralda was taking forever. Like she does.
Oh. For a moment. Alright, get that stuff on and then get out of here to go find the black cat like the captain asked.
Do they need anyone else to come along with them?
Please let the princess come. That would be hilarious.
It's her birthday.
No, they don't need anyone. And Enu's like, they've made a bet and a wager who could pick a cat faster. Those three did.
Okay.
Eno says, I'm out of cat hunting. I'm not going to go do that. And Arthur gives a nod, looks to the three of you. Honorable bet.
They spit on it.
Good. Be off with you, and don't come back without a cat.
Hi, sir.
Thomas, Paige resists to make a very racist joke.
Yes.
That'll be a reroll character if I do. If Thomas ever goes, I'll make a character that is completely like that.
You think about that. And then you realize that, oh right, I remember what he did in the war. Never mind.
Thomas, like, I would imagine his face is kind of at this moment where, like, his comrades are, like, talking about, like, oh, Lady Esmeralda was taking forever, and he has that face where he's like, no, it wasn't, it was something else. And then, like, he's like, alright, don't come back until you find a cat, and he's like, like,
You have to leave, there's one right here. Meow.
Yeah.
like I said, if Thomas, if that happens, I'll make a character that's very like that, but till then.
Awesome. So before you go on your adventure of hunting a cat for the ship, for the wharf rats, we are going to take our first break.
Break time.